What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today we are going to be talking about 5 mistakes that you really should not make in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Huge thank you guys for 272k. Like, the fact that we've gained subscribers for the last week is kind of beyond me, considering we're in real dead season right now. And the fact that we're still getting like 80,000 views a day right now is mental. Really appreciate the fact that you guys are supporting all the news videos. And again, if you guys want to learn as much as possible about my team, if you guys want to be as successful as possible straight away, obviously, if you guys don't want to follow any of this advice and you just want to have fun, having fun is the most important thing, go ahead. If you don't want to follow any of this advice, that is perfectly fine. But if you want to be in the best position possible to set yourself up to have the best team, especially if you are playing no money, these are no money spent. These are mistakes you cannot make. If you're spending money on any of these mistakes can be rectified by spending money. But we don't want, on this channel, we don't want to see anyone spending extra money on the game. So, anyway, now we are going to get on to it. So, I have a list of 5. The first one is basically everyone that I mentioned in my video yesterday. I mentioned a 5 players not to buy, 5 types of players not to buy. Go watch that video. That is number 1. Do not buy any of those players. They are, I think, they are low-rated version of hyped cards, like a low-rated Jordan, low-rated Kobe. High-rated guys that don't do anything, like Amethyst, that are buying average at everything. Holo cards, high-graded cards, and can't even remember who else. Just honestly, just expensive cards in day one are just never really worth it. But yeah, now we are going to get on to some other things, because that's just one thing that is very important. And also, I will say this right now: do not get cards. I don't know if it costs to grade. If it costs money to grade cards on day 1, I would strongly advise against it. If grading cards costs MT, I would strongly advise against it day 1, because we don't know if the return on investment is going to be there. But if a grading card is like send a card away for a few days and then they come back, or send a card away for 6 hours and it comes back graded, then it's an interesting concept and I'm fine with that. But we don't know exactly what it costs to grade. But if it costs MT or VC to grade, then I would strongly advise not doing that on day 1. That puts you in a terrible position. It really will. Because MT is at a premium. Every MT counts. Every bit of MT counts. Trust me. That like that 5k you get for pre-ordering the game, and the 15k you get for getting the Legend Edition, it's going to be gone like that. Trust me. So, anyway, we have got. That is the first thing. The next thing, this is the most important thing on day 1. The most important thing, and I'm telling you that for a fact. Like, there is no more important thing you will learn. Do not lock in collections. I'm telling you, it is dumb. Funny thing is, collections are cheaper on day 1 than they are on day 2 and 3. If you suddenly have the MT to lock in 10 collections on day 1, sell them on day 2, because that's when these guys are at like their highest. And even when I'm talking about day 1, I mean like day 0.5 before the game comes out really in America. But like these guys right here if you are spending, for example, for 10 tokens, you are spending at least 30k. You're spending at least 30k for 10 tokens. You're spending about 450k then to lock in for a pink diamond at that stage. You are spending like, yeah, I know, I locked in 1 set last year and it was just me being dumb trying to get quickly to the Sapphire board. But let's be real. You can very easily work up through the Emerald board by yourself. You can very easily do it very quickly. The Sapphire board, 6 tokens for these players. Basically, if by like day 4 or 5 you haven't reached the Ruby board, you're really just not trying. And that's fine. You don't have to try and get tokens. But trust me, locking in sets is not the way. Like, what I would always say about tokens is that at the start of the game, 1 token is worth about 500 MT. That's personally what I believe. 1 token is worth about 500 MT. So if you have a 3 token player, or 3,000 MT for those Sapphires, that's around what Sapphires go for. Rubies at the start of the game normally go for in and around they normally go for in around 6-7k MT, and that's like 12 tokens. The pink, yeah, obviously when you go to pink diamonds are more than 75k, and diamonds that kind of gets thrown out the window. But at the start, especially day one, they're worth about 500 MT. So essentially, if a set costs more than 5k, you're overspending, and these sets are like 30k. It's one of the worst return on investments you will ever see in my team. And man, I locked in for a lot in 2K19. I locked in a lot of sets in 2K19. Trust me, it is the dumbest thing you can do. People are going to do it anyway. If you have unlimited money and you're willing to spend money in this game, that is fine. But this is one of the quickest ways to lose MT at the start of the game. Like if you lock in, say if you early in the game, you get all of these guys, you open a whole bunch of packs and you lock in 15 sets. You've got 150 tokens, or you could have had 400 or 500k MT. If you're smart about it, that 400 or 500k, if you can work that throughout the year, you can pretty much set yourself up for the year, or you can have 150 tokens. The choice is yours. If you're not spending money in the game, do not ever lock in a set. And that's a thing for the whole year as well. Like, unless it's freaking Bobo. Unless it's Splash Zone for Bobo, I would not advise you to lock in a set. There was no, or if it was Hondo and you were looking to buy 250. But that was pretty much it. And this is another one that was only in the game this year. And it's spending all your MT renting players. Like, I don't know what level I am. Please tell me I don't have an ascension. Oh, thank God. But, what ends up happening is that, like, say here, score 150 points with Goku James, score this would go Kareem. So basically, people end up renting cards. They'll buy Go Kareem, do all this, then buy Go Kobe, score with all these. Renting cards is a huge thing. And that is how a lot of people get their MT. What happens early in the year is there's cards that are about 100k, and they end up being 1,000 MT. So a lot of people buy those guys for 100k and then sell them for 100. You've something else 10k MT. And that really matters at the start of the year. There's no rush to get to level 40. Especially season 1. That level 40 Carmelo Anthony, he's not going to be Steph Curry. But he's going to be, like, by the end of season 2, I'm not even sure we're going to see that many good pink diamonds and packs. And we're going to see pink diamonds and packs. We saw Brandon Roy last year in September. Like, there are going to be plenty of pink diamonds and packs. But, like, I don't see many of them being better than Carmelo Anthony. So he's still going to be Melo's going to be usable, I'm telling you, till about season 3. Maybe season 4. He's not going to be as good as Steph Curry. He's not going to be the best card in the game till season 4. But he'll still be usable till season 3 and 4. There's no rush to get Melo. Like, whether I get him or not, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea whether or not I'm going to get level 40 card. But you better believe at the very end of the season, there was a thing like get a triple-double with Westbrook and get 2,000 XP, which was crazy good at the time. They give a whole bunch of stuff out at the end of the season to try to get people to do anything. So wait until the end of the season. Do not spend all your MT renting cards. Yeah, I know it feels great getting first like Melo. And let's be real, there's only one first Carmelo Anthony. If you're second, if you're not first, you're last in those type of grinds. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if you're first. We've all learned that. No one cares who gets these cards first anymore. They really don't. And you're not going to be able to get the card till at least 3 weeks into the game. So really, who cares? Really, who cares? By that stage, someone will just crazy grinding. But at the end of the season, you really want them, you can get them. And it's a lot quicker to do at the end of the season at the start. Okay, so then we have, after selling for MT, we've got one that no one will talk about, and this is actually really important. Do not apply contracts to low rated players. And what I mean by that is, do I have any low rated players that need contracts? Like this. So Juan Toscano. If, like, I'm going to apply a contract to Taco Fall. So if I apply a contract and I apply 5 right here. For Taco Fall, that is worth 600 MT. Because 5 tokens cost 600 MT for pink diamonds and above. If you guys don't know, for bronze players, this is what tokens cost. If you try to apply 5 contracts, 40. So a gold contract is not worth the same amount for every player. A gold contract on a pink diamond or higher is worth 600 MT. A gold contract, because that's pure. 2K are not going to raise the amount of contracts you can hold in the collection. They're not going to They're not going to raise the games on a contract. So basically, it's not going to be like FIFA, where you can have hundreds of them. You just can't. So what it's the case of is that until you get to Amethyst, where it's 400 MT per contract, you make more money selling your contract in the auction house. They sell for 350. They sell for about 350 gold contracts. Let's say 350 for a gold contract. You get 320 back. Up until Amethyst, you make a profit by selling the contracts on the auction house and going into and just letting and purchasing them with empty. Do not. It is there is no excuse for it. Do not, under any circumstances, apply a contract to anyone who is Ruby or lower, because you are making a bad mistake. You are making a bad mistake. And if contracts are cheap, if contracts are like 200 MT and they're selling, buy stacks of 20. Keep stacks of 20. Keep those stacks of 20 in your auction house, because it's about 2 weeks until they go to 350, if it turns out that they are 200 MT. And if it's 200 MT, then put them on Ruby cards and nobody lower. But I know you might, unless you don't have any MT, and even if you don't have any MT, just sell your freaking contracts. Like at the start of the year, sell your contract, use MT to buy contracts. That is what you need to do until you start getting Amethyst and higher. When you get Amethyst and higher, then it becomes important to keep those contracts. If you don't want to just hold all the contracts. Whatever the worst thing you can do is hoard too much, because then you've turned into what I've done. You turn into DBG if you hoard too much. So I advise you not to hoard these packs. Just open them when you get them, because I have hundreds, if not thousands, of contracts sitting there, which was a dumb decision by me. But yeah, that's another big one that people don't really tell you. But you are literally, every time you are applying a contract to a player that's lower, that's higher rated than, or that's lower rated than an Amethyst, so rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and golds, you are, like, obviously contracts are going to be more on golds and bronzes, but you're in a bit of a bad situation there. Okay, and this is one where some people are going to say, I just want to have fun in the game. And that is fine. That is perfectly fine. If you're not spending money on the game, this is a huge tip that I'm going to give you guys. Do not jump into Unlimited too early. If you want to play a couple of games of Unlimited, that's every now and again, that's fine. But do not jump into Unlimited. Do not say, I'm going to try get through all the tiers. First, if your team is not good enough. The most important thing before you jump into Limited, because you will get eaten. If you jump into Unlimited without a squad, you will get eaten alive. And I don't even mean an exceptional squad. If you don't have, like, let's just say 10 players on your team that are even like mediocre level, you're screwed. So we're looking at this team right here. If you have a squad like this, fire ahead. If you have 10 players on your team that are Emerald or higher and you really want to play the mode, fire ahead. But do not go into the mode with your starter squad, because that is a surefire way to lose. I know people are going to do it. I'm telling you, I know people are going to do it. And honestly, on day one, if you just want to play one game of Unlimited, then go ahead. Trust me. But if you are saying, I'm going to start grinding the Unlimited game mode, you're going to get eaten alive. Like, lads, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there in the 2K community. You are going to get eaten alive if you try to do that. So I would strongly advise you against it. Find ways of building your team. Find out what the best way of earning MT is. Do a bit of sniping. Play some objectives. Play some domination for tokens. Play some domination to get some MT. Play some triple threat offline. Triple threat offline is a really good way to make MT at the start of the game. Play some triple threat offline. Get a couple of... Because there's going to be like... Pretty sure there's a... What was it last year? Was there a 15 card for triple threat offline? Like, we look at TTO. Last year, you got 4 wins. Suddenly you had 3 tokens. That's 1 token player. Almost all those token cards are usable. And then by 15 wins, you got a Jamario Moon. Chuck Jamario Moon in your lineup. That is an hour of playing the game. And say 20 wins is an hour and a half. Actually, no, let's go 25 wins. You've got 2 new players in your team. That worst case scenario, you're going to be able to sell. And then also, while you're getting all these guys, your token rewards, while you're getting your like Jamario Moon and whoever the equivalent is, you're getting your little bit of MT. You're selling some of your cards from your starter set that cost some money, and suddenly you're looking at, you might have like 10k MT, and 10k MT on day one, you can build 5-6 players, as well as some token players that are consistently good. So spend your hour or two playing. This is probably the best mode to do it day one, because I don't know what Triple Threat Online is going to be. Triple Threat Online is probably going to be a sweat fest as well. Triple Threat Offline day one, build up your capital, get your team sorted, and you don't need a great team, just a competitive team. But if you go in with a starter team that you don't know what they're doing, you're going to struggle. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So for me, the 5 things are: make sure you don't buy, quote, bad players. I made a video on that. They're not bad players, they're just the players that are going to depreciate fastest in terms of MT value, while offering you very little in terms of improving in game. Don't lock in for collections. That is the number one thing. Do not lock in for collections. Do not spend a bunch of money trying to get XP done quicker. The card's not going anywhere. Fair enough if it's the very end of the season and you're in a rush and you want to spend MT, but let's be real. After 3 weeks of the season, if one person's gotten them, the card's not going anywhere. As well as that, using contracts on low-rated players, it is something that people do not talk about enough, but at the start of the game, it is the quickest way of losing MT. As well as that, jumping into Unlimited too early. Not only is it costing you a bunch for contracts, you're making very little MT back on Unlimited, because you never make MT back on Unlimited, and not only that, you're going to get eaten alive. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.